What's up, guys? Sin here, and today we're going to talk about some lore. Actually, we're going to do a kind of a little theorizing and analysis for Flesh and Blood's upcoming set, Outsiders. First and foremost, I want to kind of talk about I want to say the ninja in the room, Katsu and Benji. For those that don't know, Flesh and Blood Outsiders that comes out, I believe it's March 17th, will include Katsu from the original Welcome to Wraith set and Benji from the first supplemental set, Crucible of War. Now, not a whole lot of story has been officially released by Legend Story Studios about Benji. But there are certain things that you can kind of like assume about Benji, and what his place and role is in the world of Flesh and Blood, in the world of Wraith. And they also have lore out there for Katsu, and this is like very early Flesh and Blood lore that I can see. If you're not that well versed in the lore of the game, you might have either forgotten or didn't know about. So kind of today we're going to go into what Katsu has been doing since the initial Welcome to Wraith set, which is now like 7 or 8 sets ago at this point, and what I believe his role might be when it comes to Outsiders, because Outsiders takes place in the pits of Wraith. The pits are essentially a network of underground caverns and mine shafts that are inhabited by some of the more deadly denizens of the world of Wraith, so mercenaries, assassins. It's kind of like the black market underground, the criminal underground of the world of Wraith. So we are going to kind of just talk about today some like lore beats from that first Katsu lore article that is available on the Flesh and Blood website, but I'm going to give you the Cliff Notes version today, and I'm going to talk about how I think Katsu is going to play into this this story of Outsiders. So we know in Outsiders we are getting a new assassin, Uzuri Switchblade, and we know from her young card that she is originally from Mysteria being the roving mountain ranges of that are very like Japanese and Asian influenced area of Wraith, where all of the ninjas and some assassins actually kind of hail from. The way that it seems like they're treating it is that, you know, ninjutsu is more of like a traditional art. It is a more honorable and more noble kind of combat art than being an assassin is. So I'm kind of going into this viewing that the fact that Uzuri is an assassin is that she has essentially, you know, dishonored her clan, and she has essentially defected from the Mysterian ways, and used her training from her youth for profit to become the ringleader of a group of outsiders. And that's the first kind of prediction, is that, you know, Uzuri has a history with Mysteria, but it's not necessarily a good one. She may have, there may be a reason why she is an assassin now, and she is no longer in Mysteria, and instead leading kind of being this like operative for this group of mercenaries and assassins called the Spider. We know that the Spider also has Arachne in their employ, and we don't know we don't know if the Spider is a person or just the collective group. So that's a little ambiguous still. I'm hoping we get some answers in Outsiders as to like what the Spider actually is. Are they just a group of assassins? Is it a person, a benefactor that kind of like hides in the shadows and hires these assassins, or takes contracts and hands them down to these assassins to move forward? But Uzuri looks like to be some kind of leader of this group, some kind of important person in this group, and I kind of want to give some backstory as to why it may be a bad thing that Katsu and Benji are coming to the pits, and why it might be bad for Uzuri, and why it might finally lead Katsu to get some answers for long-standing questions. because and we'll get through that. So we are going to pop over and we'll talk about it. So Katsu is the head of the Mugenshi clan, one of the hidden households of Mysteria, concealed within the Gorge of 1,000 Winds. Some folks in the Mugenshi clan call it the Mugenshi Gorge. So when Katsu was younger, he kind of took part in an undefined rite of passage called Jokyoku. It was essentially him having his memories kind of, I guess, erased and leaving Mysteria as a child after his training to then return home later on to regain his memory. Years later, he found his way home, and then he leaves. Then he begins to try and leave Mysteria again to seek out a cure for a curse that's plaguing his people. Katsu has taken a few members of his clan along with him on this journey, and I'm making the prediction now that this journey is what leads him to the pits, given that we know in the pits that the denizens of the pits deal with something called the 3 deadly plagues. Katsu, to me, it sounds like he is trying to find a cure for this curse called Seikon, that has plagued the Mugenshi clan for centuries. Now, the Mugenshi clan is one of the hidden clans of Mysteria, so the outside world up until this point did not know that they actually existed. Not even other clans in Mysteria knew that they existed. Initially, Katsu goes in front of a group of grandmasters, and the Grandmaster Takomi, the leader, originally did not approve of this mission, claiming that it would put risk to reveal the hidden house to the rest of Mysteria, and then by proxy, the rest of Wraith. Katsu, while on some sort of guard duty one night, decided to just leave. He wanted to take this mission on solo. So as he's traveling on the 3rd night of his trip, he encounters 11 assassins that were wearing half masks, and they were actually members of the Crimson Haze. Katsu, they realize they fight each other a little bit, and then they realize, hey, we kind of want the same thing here. Ira's initial ideology was that she wanted to take down Aoi's scales, which I'm thinking is some kind of collective government that kind of hides the truth behind some of the bad things that happen in Mysteria. So Katsu, along with these Crimson Haze rebels, they raid a stronghold, and they take out all the guards in the stronghold, and it's revealed that Grandmaster Takomi was actually following Katsu this entire time. And while following Katsu this entire time, has decided it is time for them to step out of the shadows. In a treasure vault in this stronghold ran by Aoi's scales, Katsu comes across a scroll with a list of artifacts on it. These artifacts have essentially been lost to the ages. And alongside that scroll, a list of names, and the names of these people and their last known location on Wraith. So Katsu is currently on this journey trying to find a cure for this curse that is killing his people and has been killing his people for centuries. And there's this list of names of potential, maybe it's potential defectors, maybe it's potential, people of interest. And if I had to venture to guess, I would say Uzuri's name is on that list, and her last known location is the pits, the pits of Wraith, or the Maw. That's my first really initial thought on that. And so what happens is Grandmaster Takomi says, we're going to come out of the shadows. We're going to reveal ourselves to the world, because we need to save our people. So with that, Katsu returns back home with them to prepare for the journey ahead. That leads us to outsiders. I believe Uzuri and Katsu may have a history. I'm going to make a bold inference here and say that, Katsu and Uzuri appear to be the same age, around the same age. It's very possible that they trained together as children, and they were maybe friends at one time, and something happened that Uzuri left the clan, the Mugenshi clan, and moved, I guess it would be out west to the pits, or made that journey across Wraith to the pits. I'm not quite sure yet how Riptide and Arachne really fit into the outsider story, other than essentially being Uzuri's muscle. But I will say it seems like, knowing where Azalea sits on the kind of like spectrum of like good bad, I would say that once Katsu and Benji arrive in the pits, Azalea will probably be their first contact. And given Azalea's a ranger, rangers essentially are good at like hunting people or tracking people down. My guess is Katsu, Benji, and Azalea are going to essentially be this group of 3 that are trying to find Uzuri, and they come across the spider, Arachne, Riptide, and there's a whole to-do about it. I'm really excited for the set because it seems that there's more mystery behind it. It seems like we're going to be exploring Katsu's past, and we're going to be exploring Uzuri's past, potentially even Arachne's past if you look at Arachne's solitary confinement, and then we're going to be exploring the 3 deadly plagues of Wraith. So with that, I honestly feel like I'm excited to see where this goes. I'm excited to see where the story takes. And I'm excited to see if these artifacts have anything to play or do with this story specifically. I actually have a theory that the artifacts, or 3 of the artifacts, are actually the codexes that are the cards that we're going to be getting in Outsiders, the hybrid class Majestics, the Codex of Frailty. I believe that codex may be one of the artifacts, and that may hold the secret to solving this plague that is killing Katsu's people and the Mugenshi clan. So with that being said, I want to hear your thoughts. What do you guys think is going to happen in Flesh and Blood Outsiders on the story side? I'm really excited to see where this goes, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this type of video. I haven't really done any lore videos before, so if you like this, let me know. I'll make some more, and as Outsiders comes out, I'll try and dig up as much info as I possibly can. Thank you guys so much. Don't forget to subscribe, like, do all that fun stuff, and I'll see you guys on the flip side. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Sin out.